ọbẹ̀ ní bẹ́ṣù àtẹ́lẹsẹ̀ abẹ́ ọ̀nà wọn ẹni tó bá ní mi ò ní délé òun ni mi ò ní dé bá.
Hey, my beautiful people. It's been a minute, but guess what? I'm back. That's right. So we are coming in with a new rebrand, and now it's no longer She's on the Move. It's now Amaka Offscripts. It's officially been launched. And I'm ready to bring you the freshest, boldest, and the most unapologetic takes on, African stories that matters. Because honestly, all this while I've been up, there are a lot of things I've been wanting to talk about. But what can I say? It's better late than never, huh? But I promise I'm back for good, okay? And see, all this while I've been off, life have been lifing, and work have been hectic. I won't even lie, but I'll find a way. I'm not promising to be posting like how many podcasts in a week or so, but I would try at least to post once a week and see how it goes from there. If I'm very flexible, I would post more. So let's just leave it at that. All I can say is that I've missed the space. I've missed you all. So here we are starting off a new energy, new vibe, same love for storytelling. So today we'll be kicking off with a show that has been lighting up screens, sparking conversations everywhere. If you haven't heard the name yet, yes, Wura, buckle up, because this is a Nigerian telenovela. It's been shaking up the game so far. In fact, this show got so good, so popular, and got people talking to the point that Oni Ife had to host a private screening. You can imagine how much buzz this had to create to get such attention and endorsement. But when I get into it, you understand more. And the beauty of it covers everything, like from power to family to survival to the power dynamics in Nigeria, you name it.
So we'll be talking about family, power, survival. Sounds intense. But what makes Wura stand out among all the other dramas out there?
Good one. Nice question. But before we dive in, let me give you a little backstory that makes Wura even more fascinating. Wura is actually a Nigerian adaptation of South African hit, The River. Both shows revolve around gold mining families, legacy, and fierce battle over wealth and survival. But here's the twist. Wura isn't just a copy and paste. You see, while The River explored these themes through South African culture and history, Wura, on the other hand, plants its root deep in Nigerian soil, specifically the gold-rich town of Iperindo in Osun State. Is drenched in Yoruba's culture, language, and proverbs, giving it a flavor that's unmistakably Nigerian and deeply authentic.
Oh, I see now. So it's like the same story but with a Nigerian soul.
Exactly. Let's just say The River is the blueprint and Wura is the vibrant, textured painting told through Nigerian's eye. You see, Wura tackles uniquely Nigerian social issues, class divides, gender politics, even queer representation with boldness and nuances, because most of the times once we see them representing queerness, I had to give them kudos on this. They didn't just rush it or touch on it trying to be woke. They literally had to show the emotional side, the struggle of someone trying to accept themselves. They touched on everything. Okay, and the characters, ooh, they feel so real and layered. Like, one thing I love about it is that only two people were quite famous. That's Wura and her husband, and also Iyabo. She's also a go in Lagbaja. I love Lagbaja, right? But with the way they carried the script, because most Nigerian movies now, they just play movie, they just show people's faces, especially they bombard Nollywood with influencers. Like, the integrity of movie is moving, like, is shifting. The authenticity is not there anymore, right? And I get it. They want to generate buzz, they want to trend, taking advantage and leveraging influencers. But it's one thing to use one or two influencers, it's another thing to bombard your movie with influencers,
Totally.
Yeah. So the characters felt so layered, especially Wura herself. Oh my goodness. And I know, I know you, especially you and most of Nigerian men, were so glued to the TV because they were seeing the work of God in her. Like,
the lady's bad.
Scarlett Gomez. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't even want to talk about, I don't want to start talking about her fashion sense, because I was looking at her fashion sense and this lady, she came to kill with her fashion sense. And her body was budding. Like, even the intro, the husband was busy praising her, talking about how he won in life. I'm like, this man is a yapper. So before Ebuka gets so lost in her beauty, no, her beauty is not all we're looking at. We are going to look at her, especially how she could navigate from being a mother and also a ruthless CEO, navigating a world where family and power collide. First off, it was the starting of this movie that was gripping. Wura was seen, well, at first her face didn't show, but Timini was seen tired, crying, and then you see Wura with her eyes ready to kill, ready to stop anybody who would try to threaten her legacy with the fuel. Now, the show started gripping you from the start. They didn't even give us a chance to breathe. And that's another thing I like about it. This leaves me with the question, what will you do to protect your image, your legacy? Because something happened that caught my interest. From the beginning of you see the contrast between Wura Adelike's family and Timinu's family. You will see that there is, in their family, even though Timinu's family are not rich, you could see they're happy. And also, for Wura's family turned upside down and started sensing a glimpse of monster in her, they were also happy. So it's like, you can't have money and be happy, especially if it's not gotten in a shady way, okay? So you could see that caught my attention. But another thing that caught my attention, there's something the movie was doing. It will go back, it will flash at where Timinu's dad, that is Pakuti, saw the gold. It was the same spot he also saw Timinu. The same sport. That was that was good. And even Wura, in her mind, it flashed back. So it makes sense. But I guess the beginning was just ushering us into the life of Wura's life, showing us where she had the turning point. All of a sudden, the gold mine she has fought for with everything she had the news that there was no gold anymore. So when Pakuti discovered the gold and came and almost threatened her for being shady and all, not being true to her word or something like that, you know. And again, he left a letter. Keep this in mind, this letter. He left a letter, and then maybe as a trace to look for them to know, oh, I went to this one because this woman is shady. You know, sometimes a psychologist said that sometimes before anything bad happens to you, you have an epiphany. You almost have an epiphany. You almost feel it. It's almost a gut feeling. You feel it somewhere that something is about to happen. And sometimes as a human being, you do the smartest thing, maybe to leave a clue on where you're going to. In fact, some other cases, it has been disclosed that sometimes the victims left a clue because they sensed it, you know. So sometimes we human beings, we are discerning and all. So that was what led to the clue, but it wasn't discovered immediately. And I don't want to spoil some things. But yeah, that cemented Wura. That cemented her role as the ruthless CEO. It is this blend of cultural authenticity and gripping drama that's made Wura a massive hit, with over 260 episodes and counting. Wow! Have you ever thought about how a place can feel like a character? Iperindo is just that. A real gold mining town, rich in culture but riddled with poverty and exploitation. What does that remind you of?
Changing good clothes.
Nigeria?
A small thug.
Look at what he said. Nigeria? Then the show uses this setting to exploit themes of wealth and greed, justice and survival, tradition and modernity. Yeah, I also like the blend of tradition and modernity. Before I digress, imagine a community where the glitter of gold marks the harsh reality of life, where every smile hides the struggle and every handshake carries unspoken deal. That is Iperindo, and it pauses through every scene of Wura. Now, at the center of it all is Wura herself, played brilliantly by Scarlett Gomez. By the day, she commands frontline gold mine with an iron fist. At home, she's a devoted wife and a mother. But don't be fooled. Wura's love is fierce, protective, and sometimes deadly. Have you ever been torn between your ambition and your heart? Between the woman you want to be and the one you need to survive? That is the world Wura inhabits. A world where love and ruthlessness are two sides of the same coin.
And Wura, what about the family dynamic? I hear that's where a lot of drama comes from.
Oh, absolutely. Family is everything in Wura, okay? But it's also where the deepest conflicts brews from, okay? Especially when it has to do with Kanyinsola. And in case you don't know Kanyinsola, right? First of all, I'll apologize if this is a spoiler to you. It's not a spoiler, okay? What have you been doing? I'm just starting because this series is worth talking about, and I know people have been having conversation and people have been wanting a platform where they can have this discussion, okay? But if you haven't watched it, don't listen to this podcast, okay? Because I'm going to break everything down. I'm going to go into a deep dive on this, right? So Kanyinsola, I hope I'm getting it well. If I murdered, forgive me, right? But she's Anthony's daughter from the previous relationship, and which is Wura's stepdaughter. One thing I like about her, right? At first she was annoying. I was like, okay, why is this girl out now? Where are you from? But there's something you have to understand. I feel like she looks more like Wura. Like, the only difference is that Wura is powerful in her own, like Kanyinsola is also powerful in her own right, but Wura and every bit, she is dogged, ruthless, and she knows how to balance it. She knows when to grow up. She's a woman, okay? Kanyinsola still acts like a child, but one thing you cannot take away from her is that she's bold, she's fearless, and determined to expose Wura's darkest secrets. So far, she hasn't gotten that far. Have you ever had someone in your family who just wouldn't let you forget your past? Someone who's out to expose you no matter what. Their rivalry crackles with tension, pushing both women to their limits. Especially there was a scene where Kanyinsola even went as far as trapping Wura in her office. But remember trapping Wura in her office. I'm coming back to that, okay? Then here is Timinu, the adopted daughter of Kuti's family, who is actually Wura's biological child. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to grow up not knowing where you truly belong? Now, the Kuti's family themselves, Pakuti, Iyabo, the Almighty, Olumide, Cobra, and others embody the heart of the mining community, caught between survival and exploitation. And we can't forget Jeje, Wura's loyal aide, who walks the fine line between protector and enforcer, navigating the shadows of Wura's empire. Now let's talk about Femi, Grace, and Lolu, because honestly, these trio bring some of the most intense and yes, sometimes frustrating moments in Wura. Femi, played by Oluwaseyi Akinsola, can be a bit annoying, I won't even lie, because at a point I was like, bro, why are you like this? Like, you literally are putting yourself in danger. Like, dude, you are playing in the lion's den. Someone cuff that guy. Like, I would expect someone who is so lazy and sleeps 24/7 a day would at least have enough time and mental space to rethink their action. But no, nah, that's not Femi. Yet you are disrespectful, lazy at times, and still manage to stir up chaos that cost his mom, her only child. Now, I'm not going to blame him, please, before you say Amaka Nana. I'm not blaming this innocent child. But you see, he's not that innocent. He's not even a child. But I'm not blaming him for, what happened, okay? But Femi recklessness definitely escalated, okay? It escalated the family's pain. It definitely did. Like, imagine him blackmailing Wura and demand for a cut on the gold mine. Like, the audacity is the audacity for me. I was like, yeah. At first, Wura didn't want to go on with it because, Femi's mom, right? she has been Nina's and Wura's nanny for quite a while. They've had this history. I told you, Wura family is everything, including the ones that work for her. I'm not saying she's a saint, but she understands how to take care of her own people. That's one thing you'll never take away from Wura. Okay? Now, you ask her for a court for her gold mine that Wura suffered, and you are so bold about it. I won't even lie, it was ambitious on his part, okay? But his disrespect and poor choices made him a liability. His relationship with Lolu, Wura's son, is a rare and tender portrayal of queer love in Nigeria, but it complicated by every secrecy and family tension. That's why you see everything play out. So I feel like somehow he added sauce. It's just his recklessness that made me feel, oh my goodness, bro. Then we talk about Grace Adeleke. That woman, see, I feel like Grace Adeleke is a typical Niger mother-in-law on steroids, okay? Anthony mother and Lolu grandmother add another layer representing traditional expectation and generational clash over acceptance. Because till tomorrow, Grace Adeleke still believes that her son is better than Wura. You know how sometimes there are some in some families, right? The woman will be the one taking care of the family, doing everything. Doing everything, paying for the bill, but still nobody will know that is the woman that is taking care of the family. Maybe the mom, for some weird reason, she hasn't felt the special care of a man, and then all of a sudden you want to trauma dump, and I don't know, you want to your husband to be your son to be your surrogate husband or what, I don't even know. And because of that, if you see his wife living life and all, you feel like, oh, he's spending my son's money. You know, there's some mother-in-laws that no woman can ever be good enough for their sons. That is Grace Adeleke. The pressure on Femi and Lolu's relationship is immense, highlighting cultural challenges they face. Okay, let's be honest, in Nigeria till tomorrow, okay, gay marriage is not accepted. You can still be in prison. Ask Bobrisky, you can still be imprisoned if you are suspected, okay? It's weird. I just feel like in Nigeria they have some few allegedly they have some few selected ones, right? They have few selected ones that they might just ignore like that until maybe the power that be feel like, oh, your wings are growing too much, let's clip it. But queerness, LGBTQ community is not largely accepted in Nigeria, but I like how they made it so tasteful, okay? Femi's antics, his threats, his laziness, and his role in the fire incident makes him a divisive figure. He's human, flawed, and sometimes infuriating, but his story is essential to the larger narrative of power, loyalty, and survival. Like, dude, seriously, when he was deleted, I felt it, because I'm like, God, look what you did. And as an only child, right? As an only child, I understand the pain your parents must feel, you know, after everything. Like, literally, you didn't show up for yourself, your family, or anything. That was audacious. Like, how can you know someone is that wicked? You know what I mean?
Honestly, I feel like he did not understand the depth he was in. I honestly, because I didn't finish the show, but now you're saying it, I think I want to watch it. I've just been watching some that you forced me to watch. Wura is very long, it's intriguing, I give it that. But for someone like that, I feel, honestly, as a guy, among guys, you understand this. If you mess up, if you do anyhow, you see anyhow, we understand that concept. So maybe he felt he would get away with it because he's Wura, but he played it.
Yeah, honestly, I feel so too. One of the most striking things about Wura is how fiercely she guides her reputation. You can't take away Wura without her reputation. Is everything to her, literally. Remember how she coldly ended Pakuti's life? Okay, that was from beginning. Like, she just cemented her gangsterism. She cemented it from the beginning. It wasn't just about removing a threat. It was about protecting her legacy and the empire she built from the ground up. She knew that if Pakuti lived and exposed the truth, her entire world could crumble. That moment really shows how Wura embodies a key power principle. Your reputation is your most valuable asset. Protect it at all costs. I think it's in one of the 48 laws of power. Okay, protect it at all costs, and she did. She's willing to do whatever, no matter how brutal, to keep her name untarnished. And her power is intact. Is ruthless, yes, but also deeply human, because who amongst us hasn't fought fiercely to protect how the world sees us, especially when everything we have worked for is on the line? I remember as a kid, my mom always tell me, our woman, hey, how did she put it? Well, something like your behavior, your reputation is everything. If you tarnish it, like your name is your reputation, right? Eziaha Kama Karioba. Yes, I finally got it. Honestly, though, I feel like people should really study that, because it's a lesson in how reputation shapes power and survival, especially in a world as cutthroat as Iperindo good mouse. Wura's story reminds us that sometimes protecting your reputation means making impossible choices. I'm not advising people to do that, but I do get it, okay? Especially coming from where she came from. And that's what makes her such a compelling, complex character. See, Wura is one person you wish you could hate, but trust me, you ain't hating her because she's intriguing, okay? So, the main conflict in this season 1 is packed with tension, morality complex. Let me ask you, what would you do if your stepdaughter was determined to take you down? Would you fight back with everything you've got, or would you just fold your arms and be like, That's the core of the fierce Wura versus Kanyinsola rivalry. I told you to remind me about it, right? Yeah. Remember when I said she trapped Wura in an office? Do you remember did you watch the Python scene?
Oh yes, I did. I will never forget that.
Totally. You see that moment? That was it. That was very electrical, okay? And a literal symbolic standoff that showed just how deadly their power struggle is. Like, and it kind of, I won't lie, after that moment, Kanyinsola was shook. She was like, like she really tied her, she locked her in with a deadly python. And Wura had nothing but a pen, I think, a pen knife. I said after then Kanyinsola was like, okay, I gotta throw it carefully, cause then there was Wura versus Femi when he threatened to expose her secrets. She and Jeje take ruthless chilling steps to silence him, and oh my goodness, I have to give credit to this cinematography. Did I get that right? I need to give credit to that, because the way they executed it was nice. Like, it wasn't so expensive, but it looked very well done. That kudos to them. I feel like this will last. I'm fangirling over them. So, Wura versus Timini, the mother-daughter tension. Mind you, Timini is yet to find out that this is her mom, okay? And it digs deeper into her origins and the mystery surrounding her father's death. And then, have you ever been caught between family loyalty and doing what's right? That's the miners' dilemma in Iperindo, because led by Fola and the Kutis. The community rises up against exploitation in a raw, emotional uprising that grounds the show in a real-world struggle. And finally, Lolu closeted queerness adds layers of emotional depth, really deep, and you rarely see most of it in Nigerian TV, creating internal family struggles that feels deeply real and relatable. And you cannot tell me anything, some people actually literally they cried, okay? Especially Pakuti says it made me cry, I won't even lie. I knew it wasn't real, but yeah, I'm myself too. But at the height of the conflict, just when you think everything's about to implode, we get an epic showdown. Wura in her most vulnerable moments, shocking twist, Wura's true motivation revealed was her ruthless pursuit of power wasn't just about her legacy. It was more about protecting the future of her children. And you know what? Wura's show wasn't about, really, if you see her, you notice that she's just, as ruthless as she is, she has so many layers to it. And I think that's what captivated her to a lot of viewers, right? Because you could see within her your willingness to want to do anything to protect, because she came from nothing, and you know why climbing there feeling like you have no help, it's like you have nothing, is all on you, and probably being stamped on, you know, that can motivate some people. And she really worked for everything she got, okay? She did. So, and the final scene, it was jaw-dropping. You thought you knew what was coming, but the show pulls the rug out from under you. With Wura's reign hanging by a thread, she makes the ultimate sacrifice, leaving the viewers gasping for air.
Wow. Sounds like Wura knows how to keep you on the edge of your seat, huh?
Absolutely. And that's what makes this series such a must-watch, okay? I'm not advertising for them, but come on. It's a masterclass in power, family, and the dark choices we sometimes have to make for survival. So, if you haven't already, make sure you tune in and follow Wura. Trust me. Oh, you won't regret it, okay? I definitely recommend it.
You have definitely piqued my interest, Amaka. Let me go get my popcorn.
What? You're just getting your popcorn ready. You should have done that, because this is the end of the story, folks. That's a wrap for today's episode of Scripts with Amaka, and I hope you enjoyed our deep dive into Wura and all the juicy drama it brings to your table. Stay tuned, because next week we will be back with even more hot takes, African stories, and as always, the latest gossip from the world of entertainment, politics, and don't forget to like, share, and leave us a review. Okay, it really helps us grow and brings more exciting episodes to your ear, okay? Until next time, stay fabulous and keep living boldly. See ya. And also follow us on socials. Follow me at Amaka Sports. I'm thinking of changing my IG. Should I change it? Let me know. DM me and let me know if I should change it too, because it's all about rebranding, baby. See you in my next podcast. Bye.
Bye.